On from pulses, let's talk about wheat now. And we are looking at a bumper crop. The government procurement is on the higher side as well. But then what is ailing the industry is the stock limits, which have come in earlier and perhaps at a time where it was not needed. Joining me now is Mr. Ajay Goyal. He's chairman at Wheat Product Promotion Society. Mr. Goyal, thank you so much for joining in. What is the latest number that you would have in sense of government procurement as of today?
So we are almost at 30 million, I would say. And that's about it. I don't know whether we have touched that elusive number of 30 million, but we are something like 29.9, somewhere around there at the moment.
How would you react to the stock limits? I understand this time it's lesser period that was given to the trade and to the whole of value chain to ensure that you align with the limits now. Has much of that been done? Has it had its impact on prices?
So it's really unfortunate, in spite of the government declaring a bumper crop, one of the highest procurements, and overall the message being conveyed is there is sufficient wheat in the country. We are quite self-sufficient and there is no need of imports. So there are basically four players in the wheat market. There is the farmer, there is the trader, there's the miller, and of course there is the government itself through the Food Corporation of India. And on a farmer, there is no stock limit. He has the right to hold his produce and sell it whenever he desires. As for millers are concerned, they have a limit of almost 70% of their annual capacity. And of course, the government cannot be functioning with any sort of limits. So it is the trader who is actually servicing the SMEs, creating the supply chain logistics, the trade credit, the storage, and such a vast country where wheat is harvested and procured or made available in so many places. The trader who participates and keeps the grain for the rest of the year. And it is unfortunate that the government, in spite of having such a large crop and sufficient in its coffers, the government has been, I fail to understand the reasoning behind this stock limit, which is so measly at about 3,000 tons per trader at the start of the season. So probably the government doesn't know of something which either the trade and industry doesn't know, or it should disclose the reasoning.
Well, Mr. Goyal, would you say that all of last couple of years the trade has been asking for import of wheat? So this is the time the government is ensuring that there's no import and there's enough wheat perhaps available. I want to take a leaf out of what you just said, that the farmer is exempted from stock limits. Would that I wouldn't say it's a loophole, but would you say farmers have perhaps the capacity to hold enough wheat?
Yes, why not? That has been visible in the past 2 years, especially in states like Uttar Pradesh, where you have seen arrivals almost all around the year. Of course, in MP, the price by the government was very lucrative, so I do not think anybody is holding it back, farmer. But Punjab and Haryana normally sells out, but this year you see that there has been some retention by the farmer itself. And UP is a classic case where you have the farmer bringing in the produce almost all around the year.
Mr. Goyal, what's your sense also on the demand going forward and the prices therein?
So right now it's too early to make any specific call on demand. The demand of wheat products is normally, plus minus 10% round the year, more or less on similar lines, because this is one of the staple parts of the diet. But it is hoped that, demand will improve over time in the next few weeks, few months, because we normally see that the summer months are the low demand months. After that, it's quite a decent, robust demand.
You haven't seen
as prices are concerned, I think right now, the next 2 or 3 months, I do not see any surge, and there is a big hope that the government is going to start its open market sales scheme early this year.
How are you also looking at the export part of it? Because, every time that the government has talked about a bumper crop or even stock limit for that matter, do you at all see a probability of wheat product export?
So I think most of them have given up hope, and it's better to forget it rather than keep clamoring for it, because the government has its own priorities, and all actions of the government so far indicate that the government is in no mood to relax any of the policies, and it wants to keep a strict control and eye on wheat and its prices.
How are you also looking at an overall crop estimate now, from USDA saying 117 to government saying 115? I mean, is there more clarity? This is a question I keep asking you, but the variance in industry numbers and the government is quite wide.
Yeah, so I think this year, everybody has posted a higher number, and it is somewhere about that, as I told you last time, about 4-5%, 3 to 5% higher than your last year's number. And we are definitely in a zone of 105 to 115 million tons.
Mr. Goyal, also going forward from here, what is it that you see government working on in sense of wheat there?
So I guess the next action of the government will be announcement of the OMSS scheme, and it is hopeful that by next month, that is July, the government will kick off the scheme for actual users and millers.
So you do not see the prices going higher in the next 2 to 3 months or forward, because as you said, the OMSS will start kicking in.
So I guess if the OMSS is not well distributed and the requirements of millers are not fulfilled, then definitely there will be a mismatch in supply, and you could see some surge in prices in certain pockets. The only thing would be if wheat is not made available through OMSS throughout the length and breadth of the country, especially where the mills are situated or the consumption is there, or if the allocation under the OMS is very measly to millers, then definitely you could see some spike in price.
One final question, and this is on the overall demand and the consumption that we've seen in wheat over the years. And what's your sense on the pattern going forward?
I think consumption continues to grow along with population and more new products being introduced. And wheat has this beauty of being sold in a well-preserved form, be it biscuits, cookies, pizza. So it has a good shelf life, good this. So it is at a very normal, gradual 1 to 1.5% per annum. You can see price demand going up or consumption going up.
All right. Mr. Goyal, thank you so much for joining in and giving us all those details in sense of numbers and analysis as well. With that, it's time for a break, but don't go anywhere. The discussion continues when we return. On the other side, we'll talk about soybean space with D.N. Pathak, who is ED at the Soybean Processor Association.